strengthening relationships in the virtual space. Since you and I, and probably or possibly everyone we know is working from home, it means that we are in the virtual space a lot. In fact, we've come up with terms like Zoom fatigue. Now, here's a couple of ways in which we can really elevate the experiences that we have in the virtual space, how we can reduce our fatigue, increase our engagement, and actually strengthen relationships in the virtual world. One is around use of our camera. Putting our camera on makes us visible to everybody in the space. Now, if you're a leader and you've been having virtual meetings for a number of months now, and you haven't set this expectation about let's have our video cameras on, it might be something that you need to revisit. It might be something you have to talk with members of your team about and ask them why they choose to be on video, why they choose not to be on video, and sort of uncover any of those barriers in their way, encouraging everyone to be on camera, to be visible. Because in an actual in real life meeting, being off camera would be like arriving to the meeting and choosing to sit with your back to everyone else in the meeting space. We would never tolerate that. We would never accept that. We perhaps would never even behave in that way in an in real life meeting. Now, we don't really feel part of something if we're not recognized for arriving to it or until we've participated in it. And so 2 things to be mindful of is when we arrive to a meeting, the host of the meeting, the leader of the meeting, needs to recognize everyone that's showed up. And then as an attendee of the meeting, we need to say hello, recognize other people in the space, and we need to participate or contribute. In the virtual space, that means I could do it in the chat, or maybe we're using some shared document. And it can also be that I unmute and I participate and I share my thoughts and my ideas. You know, sometimes in that virtual space, we also withhold because we don't know who else might come in. But our nonverbal communication can be very strong. We can put up our hand. We can use the reactions, especially in the Zoom room. We can indicate that we're coming off mute by coming off mute, signaling that we have something to say, put it in the chat. I'd like to share a thought. Communicate with the host. I have something to share in this space. Please call my name to call on me. There are so many ways that we can make the virtual space highly engaging, highly inclusive, and actually a space where we strengthen our relationships, minimizing that Zoom fatigue. And then just like an in real life meeting, if we don't need to have the meeting for an hour, let's not have it for an hour. If we don't need to have the meeting at all, let's not have it at all. When we have an agenda, brevity reigns supreme, and questions can fill in the blanks. I hope that you find something really helpful out of this. A lot of this is related to our emotional intelligence in the digital or the virtual space.